I'll put my whole social security number on it. You will never see Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty standing next to each other in a photo ever again, and definitely never on a song together. That chapter is closed, sealed, and buried. Damn, man, that's wild. The streets have been whispering about this situation for weeks, and now we're finally starting to get real clarity. Gucci Mane has officially broken his silence on getting robbed by his own artist, Pooh Shiesty. And listen, this response is not what anyone saw coming. We're talking deleted posts, money getting pulled back, and a level of disrespect that's got the entire hip-hop world buzzing. But before we dive into Gucci's savage reaction, we've got to rewind and explain how it even got this far. How does a mentor-student relationship turn into one of the coldest betrayals we've seen in recent hip-hop history? Stay locked in, because this situation is way deeper than most people realize, and Gucci's response only made it hit closer to home. Let's start with the basics, fam. Gucci Mane has been a certified legend in this game for over 20 years. This is the same man who helped shape the trap sound that runs hip-hop today. From the early mixtape grind to transforming 1017 Records into a powerhouse, Gucci has a long history of identifying talent and helping artists reach chart-topping success. Now, Pooh Shiesty, real name Lontrell Williams, came up out of Memphis, a city known for producing some of the grimiest, hardest rappers in the game. Before he ever stepped into a booth professionally, Pooh was already moving a certain way in the Memphis streets. His name was ringing bells, and not always for music. But that same street reputation would later fuel his rap image. The young Memphis rapper carried a raw, unpolished energy that reminded many people of early Gucci Mane. He wasn't focused on sounding pretty or commercial. He was telling real stories from real situations, and that authenticity is what caught Gucci's attention. But here's where it gets interesting. Pooh Shiesty wasn't some random, unknown artist when Gucci found him. He already had a buzz in Memphis. People were already talking about his potential. What he lacked was industry access and someone with experience who could elevate him to the next level. The story of how Gucci Mane discovered Pooh Shiesty is actually pretty crazy. Word on the street is that Gucci first heard about him through street connections. People who understood both the music business and the street side were putting Gucci on to this young Memphis dude with bars and credibility. When Gucci finally tapped into Pooh's music, it clicked immediately. This kid was different. The talent was obvious, but more importantly, the perspective was authentic. In an industry full of manufactured personas and label-created images, Pooh Shiesty was the real deal. The signing process wasn't some long, drawn-out negotiation either. When Gucci wants someone, he moves fast. He reached out directly, and the conversation was straight to the point. Gucci saw the upside, Pooh needed the platform, and 1017 needed that Memphis energy. For Pooh Shiesty, signing with Gucci Mane felt like hitting the jackpot. He went from being a local Memphis rapper to being part of one of the most respected labels in hip-hop. Gucci didn't just sign him and step back. He brought him close, gave him access to elite producers, and put the full weight of 1017 behind his career. In the beginning, everything looked perfect. Gucci played the role of the seasoned mentor, Pooh was the hungry student, and together they were creating records that had both the streets and the industry paying attention. Nobody could have imagined how this story would eventually end. But then, reality hit. Pooh Shiesty caught a federal case and ended up doing time, putting his momentum on pause right when things were starting to take off.
Rapper arrested. He's accused of shooting a security guard at a South Florida gentleman's club and will remain behind bars. A judge denied bond for 21-year-old Lontrell Williams.
And it lands a rapper in jail. 7 Sheldon Fox with the exclusive.
Rhode Island says you're wanted. With it, Mr. Williams, you were arrested for pursuant to an arrest.
For most artists, this would have been game over, but Gucci Mane isn't most label bosses. During Pooh Shiesty's time behind bars, Gucci kept his name alive, mentioning him in interviews, posting on social media, making sure the streets and the industry didn't forget about the young Memphis talent.
That level of loyalty from a label head is rare, and it proved just how much Gucci believed in Pooh's potential. While Pooh was locked up, the hip-hop landscape kept shifting. New artists emerged, trends changed, the game moved on. But Gucci made sure that when Pooh came home, there was still a place for him. The anticipation for his release was real. Fans, insiders, and fellow artists were all waiting to see what he would do with his second chance. Gucci had kept the door open, but it was Pooh's choice to step through. When Pooh finally got out, Gucci was one of the first to publicly welcome him home. The Instagram post was heartfelt, with Gucci showing pride in his artist and excitement to get back to making music together. But something had shifted during Pooh's time away. Instead of reconnecting immediately with Gucci in 1017, he started leaning toward Memphis connections, particularly Yo Gotti and CMG. Now hold up, that's where the story gets sticky. Yo Gotti and Gucci Mane have a long history, and it's not just musical beef, it's personal. Their conflict goes all the way back to Gucci's wife, Keisha Kaur. Before she was Mrs. Gucci, she had a relationship with Yo Gotti while Gucci was incarcerated, and that line was never crossed again. In street culture, messing with a man's woman while he's locked up is untouchable territory. So when Pooh began showing public support for Yo Gotti, it wasn't just hometown loyalty, it was taking sides in a conflict that hit Gucci personally. Every post Pooh made about CMG, every public appearance at Gotti events, was basically a slap in the face to the man who had kept his career alive. But the Memphis connection was strong. Pooh's roots were there, his family was there, and Yo Gotti represented a hometown success story that Gucci, as an Atlanta artist, could never fully embody. But loyalty in hip-hop isn't just about geography, it's about who was there when you needed him most. Then came the incident nobody expected. Word on the street is that Pooh Shiesty actually robbed Gucci Mane. Not just disrespected him, not just violated their business deal, but straight up took his jewelry and money at gunpoint. Sources say it happened during a studio session in Dallas. Tensions boiled over, whether about money, respect, or the ongoing friction over Pooh's Memphis ties, and things escalated fast. Multiple sources confirm Gucci was forced to give up his watch and wedding ring. For someone like Gucci Mane, a man who's been through the streets and the industry for decades, getting robbed by his own artist is the ultimate disrespect. But it got worse. This wasn't random. This was calculated, orchestrated by someone Gucci trusted, invested in, and treated like family. The betrayal cut deeper than the financial loss. The fact that Pooh's crew was involved made it obvious. This was premeditated. Pooh had been thinking about crossing Gucci long before it happened. For Gucci, it had to feel like the ultimate betrayal. He had kept Pooh's name alive during prison, welcomed him home, and this was the return? But here's where Gucci Mane showed why he survived in this game for so long. Instead of snapping or going on social media with emotional rants, Gucci made moves that spoke louder than any diss track ever could. First, he quietly deleted the welcome home post for Pooh. Small move? Maybe, but in the social media era, removing public support sends a clear signal. The relationship is over. The real power play, though, was financial. Sources say Gucci immediately moved to reclaim any money, jewelry, or gifts he'd given Pooh since his release. This hit Pooh where it hurt most, his pockets and his reputation. By pulling back the resources and removing public support, Gucci essentially erased the existence of its relationship.
And the genius of it? It was legal and business-focused. No emotional outburst, no violent retaliation, just calculated, clean, and lethal in terms of impact. For Pooh, who was still trying to rebuild his career after prison, losing Gucci's backing was devastating. Connections, resources, credibility, all gone overnight. What this highlighted was the ongoing tension between Memphis and Atlanta in hip-hop. Both cities have proud legacies and artists who represent their hometowns fiercely. For Pooh, siding with Memphis wasn't just geography, it was about authenticity and belonging. In Memphis, he was a hometown hero.
In Atlanta, just another 1017 artist. Yo Gotti represented everything Pooh aspired to, a Memphis icon who built his empire while staying true to the city. CMG offered Pooh something 1017 couldn't, the chance to be the face of Memphis hip-hop. But loyalty in this game is supposed to go beyond hometown pride. When someone invests in you, supports you, and keeps your name alive through your darkest times, that bond should outweigh geography. Pooh's choice to side with Memphis over loyalty revealed exactly where his priorities lay. He chose instant acceptance and hometown love over the long-term relationship that had actually kept his career alive. And for Gucci, that choice had to cut deep because he truly believed in Pooh's potential. This wasn't just business to Gucci. He saw something special in that young Memphis rapper and invested real emotion into helping him win. The hip-hop industry watched everything unfold with a mix of shock and reluctant understanding. On one hand, robbing your mentor is unforgivable. On the other hand, the pull of hometown loyalty is something almost every artist can relate to. Other 1017 artists were watching this closely, quietly wondering if their own loyalty would ever be tested. Gucci's response sent a loud, unmistakable message: betray the family and you're cut off completely. Industry veterans who had worked with both Gucci and Pooh found themselves in an uncomfortable spot. A lot of them understood both sides, but nobody could publicly defend what Pooh did. The Memphis hip-hop community itself was split. Some backed Pooh for choosing his city, while others felt he went about it the wrong way. You can rep your hometown without disrespecting the people who helped you get there. Atlanta artists, predictably, stood with Gucci. That city's hip-hop scene is tight, and disrespecting one of their legends is seen as disrespecting the whole city. The situation also highlighted the ongoing regional dynamics in hip-hop, where different areas operate by different codes when it comes to loyalty, respect, and business. At the end of the day, both artists lost something in this situation. Pooh Shiesty lost a powerful mentor and a major industry connection. Gucci Mane lost an artist he genuinely believed in and invested time, energy, and money into developing. For Pooh, the short-term win of Memphis acceptance may not be worth the long-term damage of burning bridges with one of the most influential figures in hip-hop. Gucci's connections run deep, and having him as an enemy can quietly close doors for years. For Gucci, this was a harsh reminder that loyalty can't be bought or manufactured. You can give someone an opportunity, but you can't force gratitude or respect. The hip-hop community also learned a hard lesson. Even the strongest mentor-student relationships can fall apart when loyalty gets tested and bad decisions are made. Success in this industry takes more than talent. It takes wisdom, loyalty, and the ability to navigate complicated relationships. This situation also showed how personal issues and business ties are deeply intertwined in hip-hop. The unresolved beef between Gucci and Yo Gotti over Keisha Kaur put Pooh in a position where he had to choose sides, and he chose wrong. At the core of all this, it really comes down to respect and loyalty. Gucci Mane had every right to feel betrayed, and his response was calculated and appropriate. He didn't turn it into violence or chaos, but he made sure Pooh understood there were consequences. Pooh Shiesty's decision to rob his mentor is something that will follow him for the rest of his career. In an industry built on relationships and reputation, that kind of betrayal doesn't fade easily. The real tragedy is that all of this was avoidable. Pooh could have maintained his Memphis ties while still respecting the man who helped elevate him. Instead, he chose the most disrespectful route possible. For fans of both artists, it's disappointing because it represents wasted potential. The music they could have made, the success they could have shared, gone because of poor choices and conflicting loyalties. But this is hip-hop, where loyalty means everything, and betrayal always comes with consequences. Gucci Mane's response showed exactly why he survived and thrived in this game for so long. He knows how to handle disrespect without destroying himself in the process. The saga isn't fully over, but the message is already clear. Don't bite the hand that feeds you, because that same hand can take back everything it ever gave.